I need it to go away. Joy comes with the morning light. Wipe the tears off of my face. Doing is raining. Doing is raining. Doing is raining. Open the blinds and fill the house up with light. My Bible shining. It brings the sun out at night. And I see the rain, and I need it to depart from my sight. You gotta hold the line in order to endure in this fight. And you know you gotta hold your head and gotta keep your chin high. It's a lot of pain we endure in this life. Keep the laws and the faith in Christ, you'll be winning. You will be winning. You gotta hold your head and gotta keep your chin high. It's a lot of pain we endure in this life. Keep the laws and the faith in Christ, you'll be winning. You will be winning when it's rain, rain, rain on my window pane. I feel the darkness outside. I need it to go away. Joy comes with the morning light. Wipe the tears off of my face. Doing is raining. Doing is raining. Doing is raining. Doing is raining.
Open my eyes, call me to see. When I wanna cry, but can't let them see. I need strength, I need power, I need lightning, thunder showers. I need warmth when it gets cold, cause I've been warring for my soul. And it's been pouring, I won't fold, but it gets heavy and hard to hold. Lost in the dark, tearing apart. Then I remember that I was chose, son of the king. I gotta believe, I build up my faith. I gotta read, I gotta conquer. Never concede, not bending the knee, I stand on my feet. Gotta keep the laws and the faith in Christ. It's a lot of pain to endure in this life. See the clouds in the sky, rain coming. So I hold my head high, no more running. Planted, and I'm rooted in the spirit. Send up prayers, can you hear me? Lord, I need your healing, healing.
Rain, rain, rain on my window pane. I feel the darkness outside. I need it to go away. Joy comes with the morning light. Wipe the tears off of my face. Doing is raining. Doing is raining. Doing is raining. Doing is raining. Rain, rain, rain on my window pane. I feel the darkness outside. I need it to go away. Joy comes with the morning light. Wipe the tears off of my face. Doing is raining. Doing is raining. Doing is raining. Doing is raining.
You came and died for me. It's just the love you have. Straight out of Calvary, yeah. It's just the love you have. Rose after Friday, amazing. You never doubted me. It's just the love you have for me. Yeah, me up. Made a life decision, got them looking funny. Now they don't want me around me. Cutting folks out like the leaves on a tree. Cause I be 10 toes deep. Wasn't for the Lord, I probably never found me. Wasn't for the Lord, I be stuck on Pine Street. Wasn't for the Lord, I'd probably out by 6. Wasn't for the Lord, I'd be stuck in that mix. Wasn't for the Lord, I'd be down like shit. Wasn't for the Lord, I'd be on my ass. Just back then, couldn't pay my rent. Wasn't for the Lord, I'd be on my ass. It's okay, grab my hand. That's what he told me, he had a plan. I remember then I had no chance, but I looked up and I got an advance. I was trying to fight all the sins on me, okay. Sin rubbed off on me. I was trying to get it, I was down like feet. I was going hard at the mud, and that old man I don't claim no more. Listen when you talk, when you open doors, standing by the sea on the ocean floor, trapping on a wave phone, miles away from home, miles and miles away. Till I heard a little voice that came in to say, Deuteronomy 28, turn to the page. Then I flipped to the script, what does it say? Yeah, you stuck in this position because of your ways. Yeah, Maya, what you say? What do you say? Ay. Made a life decision, got them looking funny. Now they don't want me around me. Cutting folks out like the leaves on a tree. Cause I be 10 toes deep. Wasn't for the Lord, I probably never found me. Wasn't for the Lord, I'd be stuck on Pine Street. Wasn't for the Lord, I'd probably out by 6. Wasn't for the Lord, I'd be stuck in that mix.
Just when you thought it was over, we're still striving for greatness. Let's go. Lonely road and it's evident. Righteousness, I need more of it. That light shine in the firmament, the instruments of heaven, a token of my inheritance. For if those ordinance vanish, then the earth lose balance. Gotta teach new standards, the whole planet out of course. Yeah, we cause much damage, and when the salt loses savor, then the true taste vanish. I imagine a place of rest where my enemies perish, where I'm awarded 10 cities for my servants to manage. Arrayed in ultra pure gold with precious stones in the mantle, with a two-edged sword. Victory to my Lord, one nation under God, and we on one accord. So I press forward while the chariot soared. Nothing left to explore, cause the kingdom awaits, ready to meet my fate when I get to them gates.
Take me there, I wanna go there. Take me there, take me there. Just take me to that great place. Take me there, I wanna go there. Take me there, let's go there. Take me to that great place.
City on that hill can't be hidden. Ain't no secret garden, no, this knowledge ain't forbidden. Speak it to him openly, knowing we've been forgiven. Chosen the elect Zion, and don't forget it's redemption to the 12. We've been looking for the kingdom since Acts 1. Read verse 6 and step back some. He didn't give me space, bow down, no, we gon' act up. Cut him to the clouds, come down and we get backed up. Get that? Open your mind, open your ears, open your eyes. Under oppression, but over the lies. Nation despised and not desired, they want my demise. But I got a God, and he black like the scripture described. Levels of elevation and segregation. Read Revelation, we want separation. Only way to really see the destination. Designated for the holy seed since before creation. Heaven's gates waiting for the patient. Saints.
Take me there, I wanna go there. Take me there, take me there. Just take me to that great place. Take me there, I wanna go there. Take me there, let's go there.
You're never gonna see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need.
Can't never forget.
Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees.
I never forget.
Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed.
And they gotta get it.
Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
You're now tuned in to Precept upon Precept.
Fruit so strange. Look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains. So when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression, never killer. Breaking dreams and it's bitter. Ready, set, pull a trigger. Send a postcard, pick a nigga. Damn.
Israel United in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat as stated in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Welcome. Another edition, Precept Upon Precept, your late show. We're your host. My name is Captain Shem, y'all.
Officer Micah.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Solomon.
Yes, I'm eating a Snickers bar. We have fat people in the back, and I stole some of their stuff. I borrowed some of this. I helped them with some of their snacks. So, all praise to the Lord. We are Precept Upon Precept. It's the late show, so make sure you East Coast people share this so people can watch it in the morning. We are going to, well, first thing we want to do is donate to the Booster Club. Y'all need to text GIVE to 646-982-3858 or take your cell phone out, smartphone, expand, hit the QR code, barcode, and as the Lord moves your spirit, donate, donate, donate. So without further ado, like we always do every precept upon precept for years and years and years and years that we've been doing this, we're going to go to Officer Micah with the Watchman Report. Take it away.
Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ. Bless. I got a Twix. Shout out to the Huskier team over there. But all praise to the Most High. We got a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the world, so let's go ahead and get rolling. All right. American service member killed in Iraq. U.S. strikes Iran for 9th straight night. That's right, 9th straight night. They still fighting over there. It ain't going to stop. Deacon brought it out in the Pax Americanas class. You might want to go back and watch that. Nolan Wells' family releases independent autopsy results. They finally are releasing the results. Apparently, the young man, when they did the autopsy, they couldn't find the lungs and the throat, which is kind of odd. Next article, please. Tensions over Yemen choke point threaten to ignite another theater of U.S.-Iran war. Scroll up. Just look. Scroll up. Look at it. See, look at this. These dudes, they not playing. They are not playing. They ain't sitting around playing video games or nothing like that. They don't care nothing about who finna play football, none of that. They ain't watching the draft of basketball. They looking to set it off. We know it's of the Lord, though. Next article, come on. Saudi nuclear deal in doubt as Trump adds new conditions regarding Israel. Didn't he say he gonna bomb the effing ish out of hey, I don't know about y'all, but it sounds like that memorandum of understanding has become a footnote. Next article. How views on Trump's handling of Iran have shifted, according to a new AP NORC poll. Can we get the book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 25, please? Read that real quick, because we seeing it come unraveled. Oh, I got a couple more. It's a lot going on.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 25.
Come on.
And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
That house will not stand. Go back to the article. They are divided against themselves. So now they viewing this war as like, hey, a lot of people not agreeing with it. Not too long ago on the show, we covered a Marine that was being thrown out because he didn't agree with this war. Next article, please. Come on, keep it rolling. Trump's DOJ charged. Now listen to this. This gets a lot of people jacked up. Just scroll up to the first paragraph, please. What they did was they charged a lot of people with obstruction out in Cali. This hit a lot of Northern Kingdom. And what happened, a lot of our brothers and sisters, they lost their jobs because the charges were later dropped. If you read the article, I think it said about 381 charges were dropped. But still, they had to remain in jail. So what happened? They lost their jobs, and some of them, and it's hard to shake back out in Cali because Skid Row is growing, and the cost of living is very, very high. A lot of our people got locked up, lost their jobs, and they couldn't shake back. So these curses are real. This happened to a lot of our people. ICE put the hurt on a lot of our people, and then it was found out that, they're innocent. And they let them out, and now they done lost their job. Next article. Hey, y'all go back and read this. Here we go. Check it out. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what Iran is doing. Look at that. Look at God. Ain't that how the Christian said? But see, they don't show this on the local news. It says Iran carpet bombing U.S. base in retaliation. So a lot of people think that Iran is just sitting there taking munitions and rockets are just hitting them and they're not hitting back. Iran is a firm believer if they get hit, they hitting back. They ain't ducking. They coming for the smoke. Was that it? All right, come on with it. The Lord is a man of war. Don't get it twisted. For time's sake, let's go to the next article. All right, that was it. All right, this concludes the Watchman Report, but stay tuned.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. So, on the screen we have, I'm going to make explain the video, but this is important because this is exactly what's going on this week. The war in the Middle East, okay? The proxy war that the U.S. is fighting through Israel on behalf of Israel is widening and it's getting waxing, meaning it's making or becoming worse. So the widening war, and that's a perfect map because that's where the action is right there. And you see the, so Mikhail, break it down. I know you got a video.
What you see is Iran's supreme leader. This is Ali Khamenei's son that took over for him. You also see behind him, you see the yellow and green flags of the Houthi rebels, because right now in Yemen, as we just heard in the Watchman Report, in Yemen, the Houthis are shutting down the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb that leads to the Red Sea. This is going to be pivotal as this war widens. So that's why they're prominent on the thumbnail. It's the Middle East. The war is growing. So let's go ahead and play the video.
All praise the Most High. So you see there, leave this up real quick. So, and like Officer Micah said in the Watchman Report, there's a lot that's going on behind this. Matter of fact, real quick, because I had a bunch of stuff. I couldn't tell which was AI, which was not. Type in Iran bombs U.S. bases, because there was a couple of videos. And when you look it up, because I researched it, it's hard to tell which one looks like it's AI, like a layer of AI. See if you can find one that looks authentic. You know, when something looks authentic, it doesn't look absolutely perfect. It looks, in the meantime, pull up a map of the Persian Gulf. The same maps that should have been prepared the last 2-3 weeks. A map of the Persian Gulf. There you go, right there. I'm going to focus on 3 waterways. We started talking about the Strait of Hormuz months before this started happening. Let us look at the Strait of Hormuz. As you can see, there's Dubai. There is the whole grayish area is Iran. Now zoom back out. Now zoom in on the Strait of I can never get the damn name of it. Baal Mandeb Strait. That strait is actually, keep that up in another screen if you can. Type in the words for that strait, and it'll actually show you a closer image of that, because you can see there's islands in between that. It's actually shorter than that. Okay. Yeah, blow that up. If you look off that little teeny peninsula, there's an island more towards the right of that strait. So it makes it narrows it even more. You're going to see wars that are going to be, this is a major, and we've talked about it last 2 weeks. Well, last week was a rerun. Now, go up to the Suez Canal. And look at it. It's a triangle. So, the Suez Canal allows Saudi oil to be able to get through Egypt, because that is Egypt, through the Suez Canal into the Mediterranean Sea. Go back to the map of the Persian Gulf if you can. Yeah, right there. I'm going to look at the one. Okay. Yep. Okay, so scroll back out just a little bit. Right there, perfect. So if you look, right, where does Europe want to control? Okay? They want to control the Suez Canal, because that's how they can get oil from Saudi Arabia, which is a major oil producer, up there to the Mediterranean to get to the European countries. Of course, you got this Strait of Bab el Mandeb Strait. You got that right there, and the Strait of Hormuz, and all that is called the Arabian Peninsula. From Syria, Iraq, all the way down to Yemen, that's called the Arabian Peninsula. All of that right there are controlled wealth-wise through the U.S. puppet governments. They're called the GCC countries. That right there is the question that's supplying all the oil. Now, go to the Suez Canal. I got an article about the Suez Canal, or is a video. I forget which one it was. So this last week, y'all, the Suez Canal was bombed. And I haven't heard too much about that. Isn't it strange how, think about that. How do you have the Strait of Hormuz? Now you have the Bab el Mandeb Strait. I'm going to get it wrong every time. And now they start talking about messing with the Suez Canal. There's a pattern here. And at the end of all this confusion and drama is one people. Is the Israelis are doing a lot of this stuff. And then they blame it on other people. So yeah, there's a video, right? Yes. This is the one. 4 minutes.
145. It's actually week 21 of President Trump's 6-week war in Iran. Ever since the 17th of June, when the ceasefire was signed, there was a hope that we're moving towards a peaceful solution. But after 12 nights of continuous strikes by America, it feels like an eruption into a full-scale war. Now, the latest now is that the Houthis are threatening vessels, Saudi Arabian vessels, across the Bab el Mandeb Straits. Now, it is worth remembering that the Red Sea and this route here is one that's been used. It travels about 12% of global trade. About 30% of container vessels go through that route. And it's worth pointing out, unlike the Strait of Hormuz, there's only way out of the Persian Gulf is via that. Whereas for the Red Sea, you can go up north to the Suez Canal or down through the Bab el Mandeb Straits. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the reasons that the global shipping use that is quite a neat shortcut to get through. The challenge, of course, if you close the Bab el Mandeb Straits, you've got to go round the Horn of Africa.
And pause. That journey, up some Mike, we're talking about behind the scenes. That journey, if you got to go up all the way to the Suez Canal, right, or you got to come that way to go up to the top and avoid the Strait of Bab el Mandeb, that you talking about when in a ship, it's not days, it's probably well over a week, perhaps 2 weeks, to get all the way down, and that the fuel that you're going to consume. So this right here, these choke points, you're going to hear more and more about these straits, and also the Strait of Gibraltar. Matter of fact, type in Morocco rushes Spain. Type that in. I don't know if y'all saw that. There was masses of people that went from Morocco into Spain. Isn't that interesting? What are the 4 waterways that support this side of the world? You got the Strait of Gibraltar. You got the Strait of Hormuz. You got the Bab el Mandeb Strait, and you have the Suez Canal. And you mark my words, all these things are going to be in the news. I don't believe I didn't put this up earlier. Now, pull up a map of Morocco. before you play that, pull up a map of Morocco. Morocco is northwest Africa, the top. And it shares a border, really, kind of, with Spain. This is called the Strait of Gibraltar that separates the country of Morocco with Spain, and that's where all the European launched all their conquest missions. They had to go through that strait. I think Hannibal fought. Many wars were fought over this. Can I get a better one? Type in Strait of Gibraltar. I know I throw a lot. Type in Strait of Gibraltar. Okay, this arguably was the most important strait for centuries. The Strait of Gibraltar. All right, so just as we're waiting for the tech team, remember this: Morocco, southern Spain. Remember those two names. Remember this strait. You heard on precept upon precept. This is going to be in the news. These choke points and waterways are going to be the future of warfare and control. All right, now scroll in. Okay. If you look, do a little closer if you can. I believe, I want to say there's an island or two in there. The point is that from Morocco, you can get, they were crossing to get to Spain. So just remember that Strait of Gibraltar. Yeah, a lot of us, we know about it. We've seen it in the map, but we don't pay attention to it. Morocco's Africa. Spain is, well, southern Spain. Remember, during that time, the Moors ruled all of that. Our forefathers at one time ruled all of that. Now, let's go back to that video. So remember that Strait of Gibraltar, the Strait of El Baal Memdeb, the Strait of Hormuz, and the Suez Canal. Remember those four waterways. Okay? Now, this is like out of the blue, so tech team is not their fault. This is real. Look at this. They're coming from where? They want to come from Africa, and they're going to, I hope this is not staged.
Over the past
They're
week,
Arabs.
more than 2,000 migrants, mainly Moroccan, have crossed into Ceuta, a tiny Spanish territory in northern Africa with a population of about
What did we just look at? Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. No, is that an island? Hold up. Is that an island off of Morocco that's controlled by Spain? Rewind it. I want to hear that. We got. Y'all pay attention.
With a population of about 85,000. The massive influx prompted Ceuta to call on Madrid to declare a national security emergency, asking for police and army interventions at the border as tensions escalate. They say the surge has overwhelmed migrant reception centers and hundreds are sleeping on the streets.
So here's the thing. I don't know if you remember this. Pause. One of the commentators, Scott Ritter, mentioned a couple weeks ago that if you stop oil production from going out of the Strait of Hormuz, it's not just the crude oil, it's the byproducts thereof, such as ammonia and this thing called sulfur, and it's some type of sticky oil. And the byproducts are used to produce massive amounts of fertilizer. Why would now are people, the war's been going on for 21 weeks, right? We said that. Now, a lot of some of these are Arabs, okay? They're not white folks. Why are they trying to get from Morocco to Spain? That's what it's saying, right? Don't let me sound stupid. If they're going from Morocco to Spain, because remember, that's just like them going from Mexico to the U.S., because European countries like Spain, Italy, that's where people are going to get, in their mind, get fed. So what's happening, and this is the beginning stages, why is this happening now? Well, for 21 weeks, they've been bombing and going back and forth, and it's been disrupting the flow of oil. And oil, when it stops going out, it's not just the oil, it's all oil-related products to include diesel. That's why a lot of truck drivers are bugging out right now, because the price of diesel is through the roof. This, God is causing this. God is putting in Donald Trump's heart to do what? To go to bat for Israel, and he's going to cause all these problems. How do you, let's think about it. I really want That's all to think about it. What is going to, hey, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember how Donald Trump was going to put sanctions on Spain?
Yes.
You remember that? So all of these things, Donald Trump stops that. Migrants come over, and now Spain hatred grows.
Yep.
And as they start to move up, guess what? The other European countries start to, yes. It's an island. Okay. So it's an island. So they're trying to get from one. But here's the thing. Okay, so it wasn't, but it's a Spanish island. Okay, it's a Spanish island. So technically it's a territory of Spain. But my point is it's going to be not long before they get to Spain, Portugal, and start going up to these islands and everywhere where the European freedom is in their mind.
Right.
Watch what's going to happen. And where's the best place to cross? Not from Algeria to Spain, Morocco to Spain. Now I don't know about those waters, but anyways, I'm hogging this up. Y'all talk, man. Y'all please share.
To that point, I remember Spain didn't allow the U.S. to land their planes at their bases, and so Spain's like, look, because I think Spain kind of saw what was coming.
Right.
They said, U.S. y'all helping out Israel, y'all gonna catch a lot of heat behind that. They didn't want no parts of it. But to your point, Captain McGregor was saying, once those oil resources start to dwindle, people are going to start migrating to where the food is plentiful. It creates a vacuum. When the oil stops flowing, it creates not just a fuel vacuum, but also a food vacuum as well.
That's exactly right. And remember, he said we're 21 weeks in the war. That's damn near. It's over 5 months. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. And you on your Watchman report, this is what, the 12th day of bombing. Yes. They're not looking to stop anytime. So y'all watch as men and women of God. Watch. There's control. They need to control. Remember, shipping barges and ships is the way to move. Cargo moved in plane is so expensive. It's faster, but it's very, very expensive to move. So the way you move across oceans is with big shipping. And guess what? All the European countries, exception of Spain and France, give me a map of the Mediterranean. I want us to look at the Mediterranean, how important this is. The Mediterranean Sea. Look, remember these 4 straits. So there you go. So that Mediterranean Sea, the opening of it is the Strait of Gibraltar. Okay. Yeah, so go, okay, leave it, that's fine, leave it there. So from there, we can see the Suez Canal, okay, that goes right up to, into the Mediterranean Sea. In this, we're going to go back to the video, that got bombed. It didn't get destroyed, but it got bombed. Remember, I said about 3 months ago, I said, you watch. I said, I predict that the Israelis are going to false flag that, bomb that, because why would you clear out Gaza? Why not bother the Arabs in Syria? Right. Because Gaza is the part of Israel that shares a literal border with the country of Egypt. So, of course, if you exterminate them to get to your primary cause, because now you can do, it's going to be a little bit longer, probably another 80 to 100 miles long. Now you can build another strait. Now, what's the name of that water? We got, remember this waterway. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a big, big, big thing. Go to where it says Tabuk. I want the name of the waterway.
Aqaba.
No, that's the Gulf of Aqaba. You see that little fingers? You see how that goes up to the Sinai Peninsula? The one that goes to Suez Canal? That other waterway that goes to Jordan? You see that? I want to know the name of that. Y'all pay attention.
Yeah.
No. The Gulf of Aqaba is.
Yes.
Is that waterway?
Yeah, that's small.
Okay.
But what they're trying to build is going to be the Ben Gurion Canal.
Yes. Hey, Officer Maker, see if you can pull something up on that. So you're right. So the Gulf. Remember the name of that. I'm telling you, I believe what's going to happen. I believe the Israelis are going to try to destroy the Suez Canal, and it ain't that hard to destroy it. Okay, they got the U.S. They're going to trick the U.S. to do what they got to do, and if they build a new area with Gaza out the way, with the Palestinian Arabs out the way, now you can control transport from Saudi Arabia, which is rich in oil, and the world is going to have to go through your toll that you can charge. Y'all listen. Bring it out, Mika. You brought it up.
So here we go. This is what they're planning to do. That's the estimated route of the Ben Gurion Canal, which is supposed to close the waterway or shorten the time in the distance. But them destroying the Suez Canal actually is going to make that more of a desired need, more of a need, and they're trying to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Monopolize?
Yeah.
Monopolize, that's a good word, but expedite. They're trying to expedite the creation of this canal. And if the Suez Canal is being threatened or has to close for some reason, it gives them all the more leverage they need for that Ben Gurion Canal.
And if they charge a toll, that's a lot more money for them. And it goes back to why are all these things happening? Why is it that Palestinian Arabs lived in peace until the Ottoman Turks before that, for decades and decades, and then all the drama started in the first Nakba, which was 1947-48. Why is it? Well, God is allowing all this to happen. So remember the names of these waterways. It's going to come up. Now, the video we're about to watch again, and we had to kind of diverge to the left real quick. The video is going to talk about the attack on the Suez Canal. Now, I think they targeted ship there, but just remember, who would want to destroy this? Would the Egyptians want to? Would any Arabs want to destroy it? No. So would the U.S.? No, the U.S. doesn't want. Who wants to destroy the Suez Canal? Play that.
Miles to the journey, and therefore about 2 weeks for each of the ships to make it round. Not only does that mean there's reduced shipping available, but it also increased the costs. Of course, part of that, of course, is it's largely inconvenient. But the real question here is, so why is the Houthis actually targeting Saudi Arabian ships only? Well, part of the answer lies in that, is that Saudi Arabia has realised that its exports are crucially dependent on the Strait of Hormuz. So back in the 80s, it built a pipeline, 1,200 kilometres pipeline, across to the west to the port of Yanbu, which allows it to offload its crude oil exports into there. Now, the challenge there, of course, is that they put it into very large crude vessels, up to 250,000 tonnes. And the challenge with those is that they're too heavy. They've got too low a draft. They can't actually go north through the Suez Canal. They've got a draft of lower than 66 feet. So whilst they may not be dependent anymore on the Strait of Hormuz, they are dependent on the Bab al-Mandab Straits. One of the reasons that Iran is doing this is because in the past, if America was striking Iran, it was striking military targets across the Middle East. But now, this targeting of Saudi vessels has got nothing to do with the military. It's clearly making a play against global energy markets because it knows how vulnerable President Trump is to the price of oil. As we've been reporting, that's gone above $100 for the first time. And the second issue, of course, that's been
real quick. The crude oil. If you're not familiar with, I think it's called fracking, fractional distillation. Military equipment runs on JP8, which is kerosene based. Following, rock with me. It's called JP8. It's kerosene based. When you cook crude oil to a certain point, the kerosene is separated. They utilize that. The C-130 takes it. Your Chinooks take it. Most of your tanks, your Humvees, your MRAPs, you name it. The U.S. military, they need this stuff. If they're not getting that crude oil, they're not getting their JP8. Because remember, a couple of weeks ago, Kat, we talked about that in the video. The guy in Texas was explaining the reserves are at the bottom. So you need that crude oil because it's not just the crude, it's other byproducts that come from it, like kerosene. Kerosene, JP8, that's what keeps the military moving. They need that stuff.
There's lots of threats coming out from President Trump. He's particularly nervous about rising US casualties and the length of this conflict just drifting on. He didn't want to be part of forever wars. And he's trying to compare the Iran war with lots of other wars, such as the Vietnam War, with the number of dead and also the casualties. But the other thing he's trying to do is blame Iran for the US military casualties and justifying increasing the tempo of operations to avenge their death. Now, of course, part of that plays well potentially into the domestic audience, but as a military guy, unfortunately, it lacks any credent logic. The harsh reality is that the US have suffered 18 military deaths so far in the conflict. Those military service personnel, like myself, they serve their country, they serve their president, they put their lives at risk, and if necessary, they pay the ultimate sacrifice. Whereas for Iran, over 3,500 people they claim have been killed so far in the war. Many of those will be civilians, including 120 children that were at the Manab school. And Iran also claims that ever since the ceasefire was signed on the 17th, that actually 50 people have died, over 50 have died, and over 500 have been injured. So the fact remains, if President Trump is using the death of service
notice,
personnel...
he didn't say any service members in Iran.
Right.
He didn't say one serviceman, but 18 U.S. They got that exact number, but he said mostly civilians, casualties, and children.
So just be mindful when we watch this, and obviously this is Sky News, I think it's Australia, but it's a very British, European-centered mindset. But even in his reporting, he can't disagree with the fact that it's not logical. And Donald Trump is not logical, just like Pharaoh was not logical. Why he's doing all this? Why is everybody in the world against the U.S. and Israel right now? Popular opinion, world leaders, international court, and they're still able to do that. Donald Trump is completely illogical, and God is making him have counselors that are going to make him do God's calling. All right? Yes. Now, drop this video. Go back to the map. I want to see the map one more time. So, and now that strait was what the waterway was it called, Miguel?
The Ben Gurion Canal.
Now, I think that was a preliminary. If they did it that way, it's dozens of miles further. If they go right on the border, right on Gaza, they cut the time significantly. So just be mindful. Why would you destroy a whole? Every building, they destroyed the hospitals. Everything was destroyed. Well, that's what you got to do when you're going to build something new. You got to make a pathway. You got to clear everything out, and that's exactly what they're doing. And I believe that they're going to do that and a lot more. Saddam, you going to say something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was going to say, I was actually looking up when we was talking about the Suez Canal, not the Suez Canal, but the Strait of Gibraltar. And the area that they have, they said that is actually, at its widest point is 37 miles long, right? And shrinks to roughly 8.7 miles wide at its narrowest point. So with that being said, the people actually trying to cross over, they could actually get over, like if they get like a little canoe or something, they could actually travel over to Spain from that island that they're actually trying to they're crossing over into, because they're actually trying to survive. That's what these people are doing.
And to your point, if you could type in, that's a really good point. Type in what is the currents in the Strait of Gibraltar, because I think that island, if they went to the island first and then kind of looped around, they might be able to avoid the currents, because I think there's some serious currents in that strait. Type in the currents. So if people are going to try to migrate, you can't go from the shortest point directly over because the channeling of the water. But if you're able to kind of go up and around, you still want to go at a closer point. So maybe it's not as bad. Let me see. Read that.
Strait of Gibraltar current speed. The current speed in the Strait of Gibraltar typically ranges from 2 to 3 knots for normal surface flow, but can reach peaks of up to 5 to 7 knots, depending on the tides and weather.
Scroll down. Let's see what it says. Matter of fact, do this. Type in swimming the Strait of Gibraltar. I want to hear that, because I know there's some people that have tried certain things. I'm sure people have tried the Strait of okay. So they get let's read this.
Swimming the Strait of Gibraltar is a famous 14.4 kilometer, 9 miles open water crossing from Spain to Morocco. Officially organized and controlled by the Straits of Gibraltar Swimming Association.
Go back up to the map. And Solomon, you brought up a good point. People are trying to survive. A 9-mile swim to imagine freedom with food. Yes. You're gonna try that, and people are gonna die.
Yep.
Can we blow up that center picture? Because I think there's some land. If there's an island or two, they can stop at. Or let me see. That's just all like.
And you know, Cap, I do remember they used to have that competition when when you brought it up and you mentioned it. I was like, wait, I remember that. The swimming from doing the Strait of Gibraltar. That was something they used to do a long time ago.
So you got to understand something, y'all. This strait is going to become very, very important. And watch this. You're going to see a lot more of Morocco in the news. The Morocco government will become destabilized. They can't control their country.
Wow.
And then in Spain, it already is on the radar. And if you think about it, you have to set the expectation that there's problems. So then the U.S. comes and fix everything. They need to control all these waterways, the Strait of Gibraltar, Strait of Hormuz, the whatever the hell it's called, and then the Suez Canal. So all these things are happening. Tech team, I didn't have as much time tonight. Type in Suez Canal gets bombed and just find an article about that. Because I thought I had one. I don't think I posted it.
And they have about 300 vessels that actually come through this strait.
Put the camera on Solomon. He's talking. Why put it on me?
So every year they got like 300 vessels. Every day, every day they have 300 vessels that travel through the Strait of Hormuz. The Gibraltar. Yes.
All right. So there's a TikTok video, tech nerds. China's supporting the Suez Canal. By the way, in case y'all didn't know, China has been helping Iran the whole time. And Russia with satellite imagery the whole time. And now there are reports. Okay, I think I sent it to you, right? Maybe I didn't send it. In general, it says China's supporting the Suez Canal. It's a TikTok video. I'm going to forward it to tonight's content. It was already in the general. I believe, yes, that's the one. Yep.
Thursday at the White House, and the two words on my mind, expansion and escalation. In terms of escalation, the United States and Iran trading strikes for the second straight day after that brief lull in hostilities that was supposed to allow for some diplomatic space. The U.S. targeting Iranian installations inside of Iran, Iran responding by targeting U.S. forces in Jordan, the Jordanian military saying that it shot down 5.
Pause. This is from day 2. So this is 12 was today. So this is an older one, but I want to, he's going to get to the part where he speaks about, this is 10 days ago that China was supplying them with hundreds of missiles. So this is why, in conjunction with the underground supply of drones and missiles, why they're able to keep fighting. Okay, and this is what they don't understand. BRICS is not just a facade. BRICS is an alliance. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Iran's in it now. You think they're not going to work together, all right? Scott Ritter's, I got a clip later on. He's going to say just that. Now, again, this took place 10 days ago, but just for the purpose of what he says. Play on.
Missiles. In terms of expansion, Egypt now appears to be involved in this conflict. According to the Egyptian government, an unidentified drone struck a U.S. natural gas storage facility in the Suez Canal.
So pause real quick. Remember. So you can't lose history. In 1967 or 68, the U.S. attacked the USS, the Israeli government attacked the USS Liberty. In Beirut, the Israelis knew that the Beirut embassy was going to be bombed. There was a British hotel that was attacked in one of these Arabian countries, and they were involved in that. All these false flags and bomb. Think about it. If a U.S. ship gets bombed, or U.S. processing plant, whatever he says, gets bombed in the Suez Canal, and now it's millions of dollars of damage. Now you blame Iran. I'm telling you, wherever he goes, he causes death and division and confusion and just evil. Malachi says that. He's the border. His borders are evil. Okay? Play.
Which then spread to a tanker owned by Greece. That is not the only expansion we're seeing. There are reports that China is going to sell Iran about 400 shoulder-to-air defense missile launchers. Of course, China is a strategic ally of Iran, but President Trump said that he had reassurance from Xi Jinping that China was not going to get involved in this conflict. If these reports are true and China and Pakistan deny them, it would mean that two of the United States' largest adversaries are now involved in this conflict and supporting Iran, albeit indirectly. Of course, Russia, according to the United States.
Pause and pull up a map of Iran, a distant map, because when you look at Iran, Iran has some key neighbors, and one of them is Pakistan. If you pull up, you might have to pull up a map of Asia, because Afghanistan, I want to say Pakistan is right there.
Pakistan.
Yes.
Yes. It's south.
Pakistan is to the southeast border. Pakistan has nuclear weapons. Pakistan has a vested interest because of proximity to support Iran. If they were to drop a nuke on parts of Iran, you don't think some of that's going to affect Pakistan? So all these things are important. Pakistan is supporting Iran. So is Russia. So is China. Okay? And guess what? Don't be surprised if Afghanistan doesn't support Iran. And here's the other thing. You ever think about this? Because some of you brothers you was in Afghanistan. You ever think that maybe they went to Afghanistan for other reasons? Maybe it was to try to box Iran in.
I was just thinking that.
Just think about that.
I had a couple of briefings in country where they were showing like certain munitions and things like that. They said, yeah, this Iran is secretly helping Afghanistan. Yeah.
So remember that. So when he says, I believe all of them are helping to support Iran because they understand that the global hegemony that the U.S. has, based upon 850 known military bases, not counting the ones that are unknown, and the power of the petrodollar is falling apart. And the Iranians are bombing the hell out of all the U.S. bases that are in that area. They're obliterating them, and it's not being reported. Their missiles, long range, are going straight through the alleged Iron Dome's defenses, and they're hitting as of last night, the night before. There's a change that's coming. And guess what? When you lose power like that, eventually what's going to happen? Oppenheimer's dream is going to have to come true. All that work in the lab, it's going to have to come true. The nukes are going to drop. When you get to the point where you have no more power, nukes will drop. And God is orchestrating this whole entire plan. The whole plan is being devised by God and his ability to move the mind of Trump to listen to a genocidal maniac to do his bidding. It's biblical. Scroll back out. I said Pakistan, but I wanted you to see something else. Okay. Actually, scroll back out a little bit more if you can. So the Caspian Sea is very important because Iran shares a border of the Caspian Sea, but guess who else shares the border to the top? I believe it's Russia.
Cap, look, you got Iraq over here and Afghanistan over here.
Yep.
America done win the war with both of them.
Yeah. Is that? And guess what? Turkmenistan used to be part of the USSR.
Yep.
So this is what I want. Yes. So if you look at Russia Russia they control the Caspian Sea. So they can send through barges, ships, directly from their south cities of, see where it says Grozny? You can hit Iran and drop supplies right to Tehran. Look at that. Look at that. And you think that Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, you think they're going to take the side of the U.S.?
No.
All of them, even though it's been divided, and the U.S. was, Captain Matt used to talk about the game Go. The USSR used to be all of those, right? All of that was previous to the USSR. Then it became Russia. So you think that they don't have a loyalty towards Russia? They don't have the loyalty to the U.S. And you think Mongolia doesn't have loyalty to China? Because a lot of them have that, I don't want to say that Mongolian look, which is Mongolia means, what's that? Mongoloid, when you got the slant?
Yes, sir.
That's where they get that from.
Yes,
So
sir.
just be very, very mindful that all of these, I just showed you that to talk about this. If they are telling you that they gave 400 shoulder-fired missiles, what do you think they've been doing? They control that militarily. They control the air. They control the sea, the Caspian Sea. Hey, type in the depth of the Caspian Sea. This is another thing that's going to be talked about. The Caspian Sea.
And you know,
Caspian, excuse me.
The actual, they still, those areas, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan.
You were there, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Turkmenistan, all of them, they still speak Russian. There's a lot, and Russians are still in those areas. They never left the areas. And so that's actually the number one language, even over their actual country's national language.
It's just like with the Ukraine. They still feel like they're family.
Right.
A lot of them still feel like they're family because they've been interacting and intermingling with the Russians for so long that they don't really separate themselves like that anymore.
Yep.
So the Caspian Sea is like look at the depth of that. You've got 3,360 feet, an average depth of about almost 700 feet. So you're talking about you can move. Remember, he just said you have to be 66 feet to ship the big barge. Remember, he said that's why they couldn't go up the Strait of Suez Canal. They had to go through the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb. We got hey nerds, let's create an acronym for the Strait. Let's get an acronym. None of us I can't say the name. So remember, the Caspian Sea allows Russia through its southwestern border to ship supplies and munitions by the sea, the Caspian Sea, directly into Iran. And guess what? McGregor talked about that, and so did Professor Chi. They talked about that. Go down real quick. I want to see something. Let's see if we can get a map of the Caspian Sea. Wars are fought over geography, brothers. All of this is these key water points. All of that it's about control. How about just a regular map? There we go. Okay. So this is gonna come up. So look at Russia. So you've got all of that, almost a third of that. Look at all those Russian cities. Up to, if you look at the clock, 12 o'clock, look at about 10 o'clock. See what it says Russia? Yes, all those are Russian ports. Now, scroll down, look at the Caucasus Mountains, right? Caucasus Mountains. Go down a little bit more. There's a desert right there. Come down, boom, there's Iran. And you got the high grounds on those mountains. So you can defend all of that. I'm telling you, we are sheltered with news. And like Officer Solomon said, Turkmenistan and all of those areas are Russian. The race is they're not they if they speak Russian, they have the culture of the Russians more than anything else.
They're strongly influenced there, sir.
So just remember these things. Iran is a lot stronger than people are giving them their credit for. And I think that the military commanders, the generals that plan things, they said years ago, decades ago, that in every layout that the U.S. loses those wars. So let's go back to, all right, we're going to change gears. It's already, we got 10:40. Get me What was number one? Go to number one. Go to number two. I want yes. Get McGregor. He's going to say something very interesting. There's only 2 timestamps, one short. Can you zoom? I like the world. Can you zoom in on the world map later on? Okay. So this is a short 5-minute video. This is Scott Ritter. Why is he important? He used to work for the U.S. government as the chief weapons inspector, and he also was a Marine Corps officer. He's very, very credible, and he also was locked up, and they threw the book at this guy to try to detain him. And he's the Edomite it's telling on other Edomites. Play.
Switching to, thank you, Scott. Switching to Iran, why is it that Trump backed off his most recent threat, articulated about a week ago, of a major escalation? He used the phrase, the gates of hell, which he said would happen last weekend, and then he backed off. What happened?
He ran out of ammunition. You can't go to the gates of hell if you don't have any ammunition to get you there. He's out of ammo. The Iranians aren't out of ammo.
Pause real quick, and that's why we brought that up. Why are the Iranians not out of missiles? Number one, for the last 25 years, they've been building technologies to hide missiles and drones, and they're wanting big, beautiful mountain ranges. In addition to that, where do you think they get the technology to do all the drilling and excavating and all the satellites to how to plan? China. Where are they getting their weapons from? You can ship through the Caspian Sea from Russia, okay? Without even have to go to another country. You just control the waterway, go through that. Then you got Pakistan. Pakistan shares a border with Iran. So China can also land, train, they can railway or vehicle convoys to get to Iran. A little bit of a distance, but they can do all these things. And Scott Ritter's pointed out that Iran's not running out because it's got the backing of other major world powers. Okay, play on.
The Iranians aren't out of targets. What happened is that Iran started putting the hammer down on Kuwait, hitting critical infrastructure targets. Kuwait was 1 or 2 more salvos of Iranian missiles away from dying as a nation state, losing all ability to generate fresh water through desalination plants were being destroyed, or generate power because the power plants were being taken off the grid. And
pause. I have to. I'm sorry to keep stopping. So about 2 weeks ago, Professor Morandi mentioned. He said if they continue to attack Iran and their civil infrastructures like bridges and other things like that, right, that Iran would begin to attack these GCC countries like Kuwait, and they would hit things like desalination plants. Why? Because much of their food and their water has to be created from salt water, and their food has to be shipped in. So when he says cease to exist, he means that. So Iran is bombing. Put up a map of the Persian Gulf. A lot of us don't know this. Look how close Kuwait is to Iran. Let's just look at it. Look, it's right there. They damn near share a border. And Kuwait was that was the first Gulf War. So you can hit it from any part of Iran. You can touch Kuwait, and they bomb the crap. Hey, find some videos of Kuwait getting bombed. I think Micah showed one earlier. Try to find one that's not AI, because there's some legitimate ones where it shows real bombs. Take your time if you can find that. Where was it going? Oh, yes. So look at that map. Look at Kuwait, the bottom of Iraq. It's a dark purple. Look at Iran. They could literally destroy every infrastructure in that little country right there. Why is that important? Because the white man, Esau, what he did is the Arabs didn't carve that country called Kuwait. The colonizers created that. And why? Think about it. If blow up a little bit. I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. Esau he's a conniving. Why? Okay, if you had to take Iraq, why would you take that part of Iraq? Because now you give Iraq a little teeny smidge of a port for their oil in the Persian Gulf, and now, which should be the bottom of Iraq, all of that south of that south dark purple part of Kuwait, that's where all the oil ports go. Kuwait and Kuwait City, that was not, Esau created that because he has a puppet government there. So what did Iran say? Okay, you Arabs that are there, you better get with the program. There's a new big dog in town. And then you don't? You want to attack us? Okay, you're in compliance. Now, and they rain hell and brimstone down in Kuwait.
Hey, Cap, to your point.
Yes.
Hey, tech team, could you just type in U.S. military go through Kuwait? You would just type and watch what pops up. U.S. military go through Kuwait.
And get us off the screen. Keep it up there, please. Keep it up there.
U.S. military go through Kuwait. Kuwait.
U.S. military forces in Kuwait faces active regional conflict.
That ain't what I wanted. I'll read. It says the U.S. military U.S. military go through Kuwait. The U.S. military uses Kuwait as a primary logistics and staging hub in the Middle East, hosting thousands of personnel across key installations like Camp African. They use Kuwait to move a lot of their equipment in and out, and a lot of personnel through there. People come back through there to go on R&R.
And to your point,
Yep.
Scott Ritter was saying that he mentioned about they're in the rear with the gear, meaning a lot of it's supply, admin. They're not like the 101st Airborne or the 75th Ranger Regiment or 1st Battalion Marine Corps Infantry. They don't have fighting guys there. So there are hundreds, if not thousands, and guess what? A lot of them are dying. They're not reporting it. It's more than 18 people that have died in the U.S. They're not telling you the truth. It's more than 18 people that have died. So, you found a video?
Hey, Cap.
Yes.
Also, too, just like what Officer Michael was saying, when I was in Iraq, and they was talking about sending us out for R&R. Kuwait was the place to go for R&R.
Yes.
That was the place to go. And as you can see the water as you're driving through Kuwait, basically the Gulf. You can see it. I mean, the water is right there. The water is right there. You can see everything, and you can also see the what is it? What's it called? The where they do the oil at the oil rigs and stuff. You know, they got all of that stuff right there. And you get a chance to see all of that. And while we was there, of course, you know what I'm saying, it just seemed normal. But we understand now what's really going on.
Right. And I always wondered as a kid, seeing the map, because I love geography, why would they carve that set? And now we know why. The colonizers needed to control that. And notice, put up a map of Persian Gulf, right? This is how you know it's all greed related. Okay. Answer me this. Why in the hell did they take that peninsula that sticks out the top of Saudi Arabia, and why did they, Qatar is not an island. Scroll on in Qatar. That's Saudi Arabia. So they created that peninsula, which has 3 overall sides. Look how many ports you can create there. That's like a little mini look at Dubai. Esau is controlling all of that. And the change in the guard is Iran tried to play nice for a while. Now it goes back to that they're going to be the heroes that stand, which again, like Deacon Malachi has brought out multiple times, Bishop's been bringing out for years. They're going to unite the Arabs. They're going to have to see something that makes them unite. They're destroying all the people of Gaza. The death toll is, now they talk about the population of Palestine is 1.5 million. I don't know if when you listen to the report, it used to be 2.3. Now they talk about being 1.5. I'm not saying 800,000 people died, but it's been hundreds of thousands of people maimed, relocated, and many dozens and tens of thousands killed. They're going to do the same thing in Lebanon. They're going to attack these other places. It's going to get so bad. Arabs are like, F it. We're just all they're going to overthrow their governments. Some of the fake perfume princes, as one of I think Scott Ritter said, they're going to say enough's enough. And when enough band together, they're going to rise up. And when that happens, the Iranians are going to stand, and this most are going to pop all that off. Where were we at? You got the video of the bombing, Kuwait? Thank you. Yes, okay, this is good. Power and water plants. So we got proof that they're firing at day and night attacks. Now I don't see any impact, but if we can find some other, because I saw some videos, I don't know what was AI. See if you can type in some impact missiles or some hits in Kuwait, because, and I couldn't tell if it was AI. The stuff that I saw, it looked real, and it showed them bombing bases. And AI is so real now, you can't really tell. I don't want to put anything out there that really didn't happen. Okay, let's watch this. This looks real. Okay. That's a drone. And those drones are very inexpensive. He's out. That looks like barracks. Oh, shoot. Like an airport or some sort of center. Wow. So they're touching Kuwait. They are touching Kuwait. And they've been warned. Thank you, tech team. Go back to Scott Ritter. We are doing large back attack time. So hard stop at 11:30, Akiem, please. Yep. After this, we'll go to break, and we got some more after that. So mind you. Play.
Saudi Arabia. The big wake-up call came when the Houthis struck a Saudi refinery. Again, there's people that have been on your show that like to talk about Ukrainians striking Russian refineries, and they say the devastation of it. Well, every single one of those Russian refineries gets brought back into service a week and a half later. It's a temporary disruption. The Houthi just struck a Saudi refinery. It went boom. It didn't go pop. It went boom. Compare and contrast the flames coming out. That place is off the grid for years. And now the biggest Saudi oil refinery was also struck as a warning sign.
Okay, pause real quick. Now, I'm glad. I want you to type in, and they may or may not give it to us, type in Saudi Arabia's largest oil refinery. Because I want to put that in comparison, because some of us who live in the Louisiana area or Texas areas, we have refineries that we pass through primary roads or highways, and I don't think they come close to the size of this refinery. So, read that. I'll read. I know he's doing something.
The biggest oil refinery in Saudi Arabia is the Ras Tanura refinery, operated by state-owned Saudi Aramco.
Now, and this is important because the Houthis were supposed to be a nobody. They successfully struck this as a warning. I mean, they didn't destroy it. Now, what I want you to do is pull up a map of the Persian Gulf, but then I want, you got the Persian map, but I want you to, let's look at Saudi Arabia. Look. Now, see Medina, Mecca, Jeddah, Baraja, Hail, Tabuk. Look at all those names. Now, type in what city in Saudi Arabia is that refinery. Excuse me. Ras Ternura refinery. Where is it? Where is the location? Oh, it's in the city of Ras. Okay. So let's find that city. There you go. I guess that is the city. I want to know where in Saudi. I'm going to go back to that map. Look at the size. Look. It looks like a city by itself. You could see that probably from satellites. Easy. Now watch this. So now type in Ras, the city, and we're gonna look where it's located in position to what we just looked at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see the city of Ras. It's not Ras. You got to get the whole name. There you go. Type in Ras Tania location. There you go. And maps. You can do maps. There's a word that says maps. If you scroll back up, I'm sorry, maybe you don't see it. You see where it says at the top, scroll back up to the top. No. You see where it says AI mode. Listen, maybe I'm saying it wrong. I just want to see where Ras, the city of Ras Tania, is on the greater map of Saudi Arabia. Maybe I'm saying that wrong.
It looks like it's on a peninsula. Right
Okay,
there.
yeah, that's what. I want us to see this. There you go, maps. There you go. Okay, now let's good. Can we come out of here? This is excellent. We're scroll. Yes, very good. Okay. All right, now what? I want to. Okay, so we know that's there, but do you understand? I want to see the whole country.
Yeah.
Look, stop. Perfect. It's right near Bahrain. Look.
Yep.
So we know that it's on the coast that is in the Persian Gulf coast, not the other coast. So now, go back to the Persian. Remember that. Go back to the Persian Gulf map, please, and thank you. Perfect. So the largest refinery is off the coast near, right where the word Persian Gulf is, right? Now, back up even more. See, Yemen is where the Houthis dwell. So the Houthis have the capacity to shoot missiles over the whole country of Saudi Arabia. Look at Yemen, all the way damn near to Bahrain. And they hit it as a warning. That's why I want to show. That is one of the largest oil refineries in the world. In the world, y'all. And so Iran decimated Kuwait. Here's my point. If Iran could destroy Kuwait, Yemen has nowhere near the power as Iran, the Houthis. But the Houthis touched the largest oil refinery in Saudi Arabia with warning shots. What does that tell you? The Arabs really don't want to mess the population up, because forget about the puppet governments. There are Arab citizens that live in these places. They're going to destroy these people. But eventually, what do you think is going to happen? These citizens of the Arabs are going to, I don't know if you remember this, you listeners at home. We showed a video about 2-3 months ago when the war first started. Bahrain military bases were getting bombed. The Arabs that was in the area were celebrating their own country getting bombed because they knew it was the U.S. bases on that island of Bahrain. So keep these in mind. Yemen are the Houthis. The Houthis touched Saudi's largest refinery, and the Houthis also are pinching and putting pressure on the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb Strait. There's a lot we don't know, y'all. The Most High is turning stuff up. We're living towards the end of times. Think about it. NATO is beefing with the U.S. The Arabs are going. Iran is the one Iran's standing up. They're actually standing up. The Houthis. Think about it. If Saudi Arabia had such a badass military, why wouldn't they just go take out the Houthis? Because they can't. They cannot. It's a big desert wasteland. They brought desalination plants in. They import their food. They're sitting on a truck, millions and billions of barrels of oil. The U.S. controls that whole. And they made them red and white cloth princes, them Saudi princes, the one that Donald Trump slapped on the shoulder. It was against the law. He came up to him, hey, how you doing, buddy? They're trillionaires because half of 1% of the population got big oil money. Everybody else don't have money like that. As a result, these rich, greedy-ass Arabs are allowing the U.S. to persecute the Palestinian Arabs, but there's going to come a time, damn it, when enough's enough, and they are going to rise up, and Iran is that sign. Iran is the strong point right now. The Persians are standing. Break, right? Yes. Sorry, y'all. That's even a better map. So y'all keep in mind, before we go to break, remember the Strait of Bab Mandeb, the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Gibraltar, which is the western side of the Mediterranean Sea, and the Suez Canal. Those things right now are going, and then Israelis are going to go in the Gulf of, whatever that Gulf is. They want to make that new canal. These things that are going on, we showed you that the Moroccans, and it's not just Moroccans. A lot of people from all parts of mainland Africa will flock there because that's the easiest way to cross. All right, so keep these things in mind. We're going to go to break. Y'all stick around. We'll come back. Last half hour of the show. Stick around, y'all. Shalom.
Hey, shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless. Why don't you subscribe? IUIC New Orleans, subscribe. Go to our YouTube page. Help us to grow. Comment, like, share. What's going on? Make it happen.
Everybody better turn up. See the man, I'm calling for my cellular. Tell them I just hold on. So bright you can hide up. So bright you like that, just kind of like garment fresh and me try.
Shalom. Captain Ananiah here. Captain Metathurs. Captain got a light. We here at Frederick K. Price Jr. Church to have a sit down to go over the scriptures. We had an opportunity to speak with him about a month ago now, so this is the second opportunity, like it speaks of in the book of Isaiah, about us reasoning in the scriptures, and that's what we're here to do. This is not a man's thing, this is of the Lord, so all praise to the Most High.
Hey, like the captain said, all praise to the Most High. Thank you for the opportunity, and pray the Lord will get the victory.
So you guys don't recognize Hebrew at all, but you're Israelites?
The King James Bible.
The white man is also a Hebrew. Does he have to know Hebrew? You asking us? We didn't know Hebrew. But you got Chinese Christians all over the world.
No matter how
and you never asked
you get, the answer is yes.
Come on, man. You looking bad. You looking bad, bro.
Thy seed
That's the Israelites right there. Read.
shall inherit the Gentiles.
See that thing right there? The seed of Abraham, Isaac to Jacob, which is the 12 tribes of Israel. They are going to inherit the other nations. So context is key. Because it's clear, nobody want to do it. Nobody ever pulls Isaiah 54:3. But they don't want to talk about the Gentiles, which is the other nations going into captivity.
God sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh.
Let me ask you a question. Did Christ have sinful flesh?
He did not.
Okay.
He was the seed of the woman.
And so now we're finding out that you believe more in theology than scripture.
We were told that today we would continue our conversation for part one. This had nothing to do with our conversation for part one.
He can't keep it. He can't keep the Israeli covenant either. If he can't keep covenant, he can't keep covenant.
Crazy. You're saying the Lord can't keep a covenant? You lying on the Bible.
Let him. He doesn't keep.
You are lying on the Bible.
If he
You're
doesn't
lying.
keep the covenant.
Brothers gotta scream somebody's name before.
I look around right now and I see an organized people. I see organization. I see purpose and determination. And we need that throughout our communities.
Broken English, no English. Funny how freedom got an accent test now. Yeah. Turn me up.
There's a race of people that's holy unto the Lord thy God. That's the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Whether you know it or not, Lorenzo was an Israelite.
To be honest with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because this is very rare in 2026. You know what I'm saying? And I wish we had more of this. We need y'all to come around a lot more. All over. For real. We need more of this, bro. Real talk.
We are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. We are who the Bible speaks of. Like Nelson Mandela said, when you take a fist and you put it together, nothing can break that. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we must come together as a fist under the laws of God. That's the black and brown power. Unity! Unity! And that's the power. We must unify in God's laws.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Did we finish Scott Ritter, y'all? Okay, we're going to finish Scott Ritter. Those of you just joining us, the war is on day 12, and it's not stopping. The Yemenis, Houthis, bombed as one of the Saudi oil refineries and actually hit with some warning shots the largest refinery in Saudi Arabia, which actually is not far from Bahrain, which is off the coast of Saudi Arabia in the Persian Gulf. So they got the Houthis to the south and Iran across the Persian Gulf. That is decimating U.S. targets. Why? Because these Arabian princes in these puppet governments set up in these countries, Iran's making them pay. And that's what Scott Ritter pointed out. We showed you some missile videos. And there's a lot more, but be careful. Some is AI, y'all. Some is literally AI created. Don't believe everything you watch. But a lot of that is real. Play.
Irreversible harm will be done to the global energy security regime. And it would be permanent harm to the Middle East. It would trigger not just economic catastrophe, but again, I just want to remind people that the oil doesn't just produce diesel and gasoline. That's how we see it in America. We look at high energy prices. Oh God, this is tough. Oil produces everything. People who are watching the show, look at your desk, look at everything's on your desk. Oil played a role in producing almost everything you have here. The crops that feed you, fertilizer comes from oil, sulfur, ammonia, byproduct of the oil refining process. When you shut down 25% of the world's ability to produce fertilizers, that means 25% of the world's agronomy isn't getting the fertilizers necessary to produce the crops necessary to feed the populations. We aren't just talking about an energy crisis with gas prices.
I'm going to show you the profound effect of what he said. What is the world population? It's either 8 or 7 billion. He said 25% of the world's population. We're going to take the world's population and just do 5% of it. And I'm going to show you, even if 5% of the world's population begins to flee and go, like in the people from Morocco, right, to try to get to Europe and other places. We're going to type the world population. We'll get that stat. Okay, I want you to I'll do it. Type in that, say, what is 5% of 8.3 billion? What is 5% of 8.3 billion? Okay, it should be like 100 million people, more than that. Right, there you go. So probably 200. Wow, is that 415 million?
Yes, sir.
So 5% of the world's population not getting fertilizer is going to affect 415 million. That's more than the population of the entire United States of America. Think about that. But they're saying 25% of the world. To show you that tens and hundreds of millions, is that 41 million or 415 million? I can't tell. 400, almost 500 million people. And guess what? You're starting to see the waves of it. Guess where they're going to come? They're going to try to cross the border into the U.S., or they're going to try to get to Australia. They're going to try to get to all these places where these white folks are at. They've created these democracies, and and that's what he's talking about. If this war continues, here's the thing. What would make a people like the Arabs say, we can't take it no more? Well, if you destroy the infrastructure, they have nothing else to live for.
Right.
It needs to be circumstances like that for these Arabs to truly rise up. So just put that in perspective, 5% of the world's population, not 25, 5%. Damn. That's really profound. Go back to Scott Ritter, please.
Talking about a global famine that's going to happen if Donald Trump did this. We're talking about Europe being overrun by hundreds of millions of desperate refugees. We're talking about Africa unable to sustain populations surging across into the Maghreb, into North Africa, fleeing into Europe, coming through Turkey into Europe, because they are.
Pull up a map of the Persian Gulf. Right? So if you can't go in through Morocco, how do you get? Well, you got to go around. When I say Persian Gulf, can you back out a little bit, please? So when he said go through Turkey, so you got people in the Middle East, if they desalination plants and things, they're going to try to get into Russia. They're going to try to go up through Syria, up into Turkey, to go across to get to Greece and Italy. That's what remember, he said 25% of the world's population. We showed you 5%. So imagine if 400 million people, you might be able to kill millions of them, but you're not stopping. What if, say you kill half of them?
Right, you're going to get all of them.
200 million people going into Europe. Man, you ain't even going to kill half of them. So just think of that. This is happening. We're 21 weeks into the war. People are going to start dying, and when life is threatened, people are going to try to survive. And you think we can't get touched in America? That's why, brothers and sisters at home, shame on all of us if we're not getting our bills low. Shame on us if we're not getting land together and actually growing things. Shame on New Orleans, because we have place to grow land. We can't get of our own way. And I think the Lord's just going to have to really get us. We're going to have to get turned up on. We need to grow our own food. We need to have some sort of control. Bishop Nathaniel and the bishops have been talking about this for years. Right. And now we're seeing 25% of the world's resources are lessening and diminishing.
And one of the things, Cap, that he said was that this is going to create a global famine. A global famine. And Esau, it made me think about Micah chapter 2.
We haven't brought one scripture out. Bring it out, please. We've been paraphrasing stuff, but bring it out.
Yes, sir. Because
what is it? I'll read it for you. What is it?
It's Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. So
the book of Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and worketh evil upon their beds.
So the Bible is saying, woe, that means destruction unto them that worketh iniquity and evil upon their bed. Just think about how long them trying to destabilize Africa. Africa has so many different resources. Had they not done that, right? And we're talking about the fertilizer that's going to be stopped due to the fact that the Strait of Hormuz and all of this other stuff that's going on, how they are affecting the world. Right? And then you have your one percenters, okay, your elites. They're not really worried about it because they've actually taken all of the seeds and, because they're making everything seedless now and making your meats and stuff like that. So pay attention when you purchase your meat. Right? Read on.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
Come on.
Because it is in The power of their hand.
It is in the power of their hand. They talk about that, what was it called? The Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU. Like Officer Micah said, yeah, it's a footnote now. It ain't worth a damn. You know, because they're bombing Iran and there's no purpose. Even the people here in the U.S., the senators and the governors and stuff like that, they're talking about, hey, that was no purpose. They don't see the reason behind it. Read on.
And they covet fields.
They're coveting fields. We kept just talking about how they're going to take a part of Iraq, right, for their benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have bases right there in Qatar, right? They're coveting these areas. Keep reading.
They covet fields and take them by violence.
That's what the Gulf War was about. They took it by violence. Read.
And houses and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Now they're going to, all of this stuff is about the backfire, even on the people who they call, where they was actually in league with the European Union, right? So now it's going to cause a drastic, what they call refugees going into the land, and they're going to go through different parts of the area. If they can't go through this way, we see what's going on with Spain and Morocco. So they're going to say, okay, well, we can't go this way. We're going to go around.
Yep.
That's all I got, Ken.
Bring it out. I was Mike. You got something? Look at this. I'm gonna show you, because here's the thing. You got some of these Edomites on Capitol Hill, and in the Congress and the Senate, House of Representatives, and on Trump's personal cabinet, like the guy Joe Kent, former Army Ranger, Green Beret turned counterintelligence, who resigned and put his letter out there saying, me as the director, I found no credible threat that Iran had anything that threatened the United States. So then you have a puppet government that is being controlled by the least of the flock when you read in Jeremiah. Now read Romans 9, because this is exactly what happened. That's why Paul said, whatsoever thing, that's Deacon Abiel's favorite scripture, whatsoever thing was written aforetime was written for our learning, right? So let's look at Romans 9, verse 17. Because history, like I can hear Deacon Azrael, history repeats itself. History repeats itself.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 17.
There's something the Deke says. He says something that's, I forget the term he uses, like a French word. Read.
For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up.
Right. Even for who raised Pharaoh? God. So God was putting on the thought of Pharaoh to all your men are saying, let him go. You got your heart hard so you could go forward, so God could destroy you with the Red Sea. Read on.
That I might show my power in thee.
So why would God allow Donald Trump to go ape crazy, to do all this stuff, to cause a global famine, to cause all of this? Well, he has to fulfill his word. How else is the 10 horns in Revelation? Bishop Nathaniel just went over it last Sabbath class. How are they going to hate get that Revelation 17? I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. This bishop just taught a great class. I got a chance to sit and listen to it in person. It was excellent. Go and read Revelation 17. This is a review. How is the EU going to become to hate the United States at the same time, simultaneously getting everybody to hate the U.S. and Israel? And all that, while that's going on, the Arabs unite, come together, come out with many chariots, and then the Iranians, who are then they join them. All of that's going to happen. And then Russia and China are going to get involved. All of that's going to, and then the missiles are going to go off. And during that time, the Messiah is going to return. So all that has to happen. So we got to get out. We got to get together. We are sick people, man.
You want that, Cap?
I'm sick. You sick. Read it, yeah.
The book of Revelations, chapter 17 and verse 16.
Listen to this.
And the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast.
Why? Because they was attached to it. Europe, remember, without NATO's backing of the U.S., there is no NATO. Trump called it a paper tiger. I mean, it has no weight. Read on.
These shall hate the whore.
Right. They're going to hate Babylon the Great, the whore. that's spoke about in Revelation 17. Read on.
And shall make her desolate.
They're going to make her desolate. It's going to be destroyed. Read on.
And naked.
And naked, right. Stripped of resources and all that. And their sin going to be revealed. Read on.
And shall eat her flesh.
Right.
And burn her with fire.
That's the ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles. Now, is Scott Ritter done? Okay, let's go back here. It was only to another minute or so. I know. Just I got to do McGregor. Finish this out.
Again, a challenge I give to anybody in your audience: stop eating today. Just try it. Tell me how hungry you are tonight. You're going to be pretty hungry, but you'll be okay. Tomorrow, don't eat because there's no food. You're going to start to get grumpy because your bodies are going to start saying, "Hey, I'm hungry. I'm starting to consume myself." The third day, you're not going to be grumpy. You're going to be weak. You're going to be standing up, being a little lightheaded. On the fourth day, you realize that if you don't eat, you're going to die, which means you're going to do anything necessary to get food.
Now, in the interest of defending the fatback lardasses can fast for a long time. If they have water and minerals, lardbacks can fast for weeks. So Scott Ritter, I disagree with him there. So the fat man, maybe that's why the lardasses are preparing for the great famine. Well, Gabe, Gabe shed some of his famine protection. I think fat lardasses, it's just famine insurance. That's all it is. Fat people, you have famine insurance. That's what it is. The lardbacks, the lardbacks are going to carry Israel on because we're all going to die. All the greens were going to die, and the fat giant lardass will live through the damn. I don't care. Bishop said I could joke about it.
In they dying days, they'll get to the grave.
Yes, yeah, right. Hey, we want brothers to get healthy. We love brothers, man. All praise to the Most High. But, anyways, so the fat giant lardass has an advantage when the famine comes. Play on.
Civilized person. On the fourth day, you're an animal running around murdering people to get their food, breaking into homes to get their food, because if you don't, you die. That's what's about to happen to a significant portion of the global population if they're denied access to food. They will starve to death, and when they starve to death, they're going to start to move to where the food is, and where the food is in Europe. And so I think, Trump has been briefed about this reality, and I think he understands that it's over. There's nothing he can do. Now, there may be Pete Hegseth one last, so let's go in with special operations forces and take the Ukrainian or the Iranian nuclear material. That'll just lead to a lot of dead Americans on the ground. There's no way this is going to succeed. Trump needs to preempt that now. We lost. It's over, Donnie, baby. Your gamble failed. You need to get out of this thing. And now he just has to find a graceful political exit.
Now, before we go to lardback attack, get Colonel McGregor's 2 quick timestamps. Keep in mind that this war is widening. And how do we know that? Because those straits are going to be controlled. And so you haven't heard about it. Saudi, do me a favor. I got to go back. Type in what is the largest oil refinery in the world. I'd be willing to bet that Saudi Arabian is up there. What is the largest oil refinery on earth or in the world, whatever? Because if you touch the Saudis and the Kuwaitis and these GCC puppet perfume princes, oh, India, okay. Venezuela, South Korea. Let me see. Scroll down. But I know that the oil in the Middle East is easier to process. I was watching this one special with these princes. They were in the desert, and there's places you can dig the dirt, and the oil just comes up. Type in let's see that. UAE, also the United Arab Emirates, that's controlled by the GCC countries. The United Arab Emirates has one of the top 5. That's going to be key because now pull up the map of the Persian Gulf. Let's see if Iran can touch that. Oh, they can touch that. Look at that. So that's one of the 4th largest refinery on the planet Earth is right there, and that's controlled by the U.S. government. Because guess what? In Abu Dhabi and Dubai, most of the people that live there are not there. It's like that's the place where everybody goes to play and have Maseratis and Lamborghinis and stuff like that.
Yep.
All of that's controlled. That whole region, the GC, they're all controlled ideologically, militarily. All that's controlled by the U.S. and its allies. And we just showed you the Kuwaitis get bombed to hell. We showed you the Yemenis bombed oil refineries in Saudi Arabia, and they touched the largest one in Saudi Arabia. I was hoping it made the list, but it didn't make the list. Okay.
Hey Cap,
Bring it
speaking
out.
of control, Deacon Malachi, you brought out something last night that might be, you overlook it, but it does show a level of control that the U.S. has on Saudi Arabia and the world. All their leaders, when they go to these conferences, they wear 3-piece suits. It shows you that they assimilated to Western philosophy and Western dress code to show that they're in submission.
You got a good point. Show me one time when Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, the dumb Bush, the old Bush, and any of them ever put on a damn turban.
Not once.
And like Aladdin and went over there. But guess what? They will put on a fake Jew yarmulke and go to, and all of them presidents do that. Yep. So it ain't about a cultural thing. They just, he's the border now. McGregor, last one.
Trump's wars now are increasingly rear guard actions.
Okay, pause.
What I mean.
So this is important. Remember he said rear guard. Remember that term rear guard. This is important. You military guys out there. This is Donald, and Ritter said it. It's over, Donnie, baby. It's over. Now, McGregor's going to, they didn't talk about, McGregor is another analyst, and he's going to tell you what is the status right now of the U.S. and Middle East. He's going to summarize it perfectly. Play that.
That is, in the military, a rear guard serves as the last line of defense established to cover the withdrawal of larger forces. And in this context, rear guard is being used to describe a desperate or futile attempt to prevent an inevitable strategic outcome. I think that inevitable strategic outcome is the complete collapse of the so-called rules-based international order, which in reality is you and I and everybody you interview understands is really an American imperial hegemonic order that rests on a foundation of U.S. military supremacy and economic supremacy. I think President Trump realizes that's over. The order has collapsed. A new order is emerging, involving BRICS, gold-backed currency from China, and ultimately the displacement of U.S. military power from the Persian Gulf.
Pause. And that's exactly what you're seeing in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and other places, Bahrain, Qatar, soon to be they're bombing the hell out of their desalination plants. They're bombing their refinery structures. When you have no water, no processing plants for the water, when you have no ability to process oil, your economy is going to go to crap. When your economy goes to crap and they hit the lightning, the power plants, if you don't have electricity, you don't have fresh water, you cannot have food, you cannot have an economy. That's what he says. He's going to wipe Kuwait. It will stop being a country. This is what they're saying. And here's the thing. Why would you allow that? Because God is he's going to create such hard times on the earth. Y'all about to get ready. Get ready. Now, next time, is there one more time step of this, right? All right. And we're going to go to law back attack. Thank you.
Judge, is that you can make the same statement about the Middle East. Iran is making it very clear that whatever existed before the war began, it will not exist afterwards. The battle cry in the Middle East is being Sykes-Picot is finished. In other words, all the artificial states created on the Arabian Peninsula in the aftermath of World War I are finished. We are finished in the region. Our bases are destroyed and we are expelled.
Okay, so the bases are destroyed and the U.S. is going to be expelled. Understand that. So y'all stick around. Watch the news, pay attention, watch sources that are, you can get it translated, Chinese, Russian. You can look at even British or Australian, other news sources that give you a different perspective. That's what I have to search for this stuff. Al Jazeera, they're kind of getting a little bit watered down, but Routers is good. Look at things like that. And Judge Napolitano, he's really good. He has a lot of guests that understand geopolitical. Deacon Malachi, I was proud when he said it last night. We've been pushing geopolitics now for 5, 6, 7 years in this show, once we started. A prophet has to watch geo means geography. Politics mean what's going on in the world. That's what it means. This is why you have to look at things like Redacted. The lady what's that? Lena Petrona. Look at people. Look at Scott Ritter. Look at these people that look at a different perspective. And you got to go outside Esau's control, because Scott Ritter, all these guys, they will not be allowed to talk on a regular show. They're never going to let them get national airtime. They won't allow. Anyways, so that being said, thank you for joining us. We're going to go to Law Back Attack. It's been a couple of months, y'all. Stick around.
You can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling. If I die for the truth, it's a win-win. And going to the end, going all in. Going all in. You can tell by my gait that I'm all in.
Hey, shalom, y'all. Welcome. It's been a minute. Welcome to the Law Back Attack. And the goal of this part of the show, which I am going to start doing this every week, is to make it so that the show goes away, so everybody gets healthy in Israel. You got to start with the men before you can go to the portly princesses, and there's a lot of them in the body. So I want to start. Let's let God speak and let every man be a liar. Here's the thing. I'm a liar. Men lie. But here's the deal. God gives us commandments and wisdom on how to fix ourselves. So you brothers, listen, we need to continue on in your health pursuit because God said it. Read that, Sirach 30:25. Sirach 30:25.
The book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 25.
Yes.
A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
So, yes, you may be 100 pounds overweight, 80 pounds overweight. But, you can say, you know what? Yeah, I got the odds are stacked against me. But you know what? I'm going to be happy about fighting through it. And guess what? My heart is, okay, very little sufficient for a man well-nourished. I understand the dietary laws in Deuteronomy 14, Leviticus chapter 11. I understand it. I understand I can't eat all meats. I understand I got to watch sweet things. I understand I got to eat in moderation. All these scriptures, that's your wisdom. And you take that, okay, and I'm going to set up a program. And guess what? In a year, I'll drop 100 pounds or 75 pounds. And every one of you can do it. Every one of you can do it. And whether it's for, yes, programs are set up, and they had its purpose for a while. But at the end of the day, men have to take accountability for your own. Can't no other men do it for you. You got to take, you sisters, you brothers, have to take accountability for your own health, because you can control what you put in your mouth. That you can do. That you can do. All right. Now, I do understand that. Give me that in Ezekiel 5. Okay. Our food absolutely has been messed with. Officer Solomon said it earlier. And here's the proof. When you go to the UK is the United Kingdom, which is comprised of Scotland, England, Ireland, right? Wales. The regular ingredients you buy at a common grocery store, if you were to take an American product, say a ketchup or a cereal or something that is very common across cultures, and look at the number, I repeat, the number of ingredients, you're going to find a staggering greater amount of ingredients in the United States. Things you can't pronounce, unnecessary things that probably shouldn't be in there. But the European or the British version of the FDA does not allow these things. So read that, Ezekiel.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 13.
Thank you, 4, not 5.
And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel.
That's us. We're not Jewish. We're the 12 tribes of Israel. Read it again.
And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel.
That's us.
Eat their defiled bread.
Right, because how would our bread be defiled? Because our enemies don't even care about their own people. Why you think, look at all these Caucasians out there that are obese. Look at you. If they really cared about their own, why would they not change the labels? Why would they not, like RFK's trying to do it. Kennedy, the guy with the raspy voice, he's trying to do some things, right? But one man can't do that. Why would they allow that? They see their people getting fat. They see the people gaining weight. Why don't they change things? Because they don't care. This place is defiled, the food. Read it again.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 13.
Read.
And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles.
Among the nations that rule us now. So that's what's going on. So, this should be the goal. I'm going to start with the men. Every man, okay, that's trying to lose, we don't want you to lose weight. Men should not lose weight. Men should lose fat and gain muscle. Muscle is metabolically is very important for your overall health. It's not just to look strong and feel strong. Muscles have a purpose. It helps with insulin. The more muscle you gain, it's better to manage insulin, okay, which is a hormone. Also, it helps with what? As you get older. There's a study, and I forget this, there's multiple studies, but if you want to judge long life, there's 2 things they base it upon more than any other factor. That's leg strength and your grip strength. How do you get that? Lift weights, resistant train. Do pull-ups. If you're not strong enough, do pull-downs. Do presses. Obviously safe, and talk to your doctor. Obviously, if you're a soldier and you're not going to, okay? Squats. Start with body weight. Lunges. Okay, what I say? Pull-ups, rows, presses, military, overhead presses. You should be doing all these things while you do. So guess what happens? You can actually, it's called body recomp or body recompositioning. This guy's pretty sharp on YouTube. He's going to make it real plain, because a lot of you think you can't lose fat and gain a certain amount of muscle at the same time. Yes, you can. Research it for yourself, but here's a snippet. Play.
People hold the belief that building muscle and burning fat are 2 opposed from each other to actually be able to be achieved together.
Right.
If you want to build muscle, they'll say you need to be in a calorie surplus.
Right.
If you want to burn fat, it's said that you need to be in a calorie
deficit. I know that one.
That's actually not true. Yes, you do need to be in a calorie deficit in order to burn fat.
Right.
In order to build muscle, you don't have to be in a consumed calorie surplus. There's a big difference. Our body is smart. We have ways to create an energy surplus without having to take them into the consumption of food and calories. That means we can tap into our own body stores of body fat in order to create the energy needed to support new muscle mass and muscle growth.
Right.
That's a good thing, because if you think about what the goal was in the first place, building muscle and burning fat, obviously if that is something you're looking to achieve, you likely have body fat to burn.
Unlike you.
Now pause. Why is this important? Because trying to lose body fat without gaining muscle, it just makes it very hard. You're going to look like a crackhead. I used to look like a crackhead. I had to start getting back in the gym. Here's the point. Gain muscle. So what does it mean? Okay, I have to explain this. I'll explain it. Calories are units of food energy. So for example, you can look up how do you determine your daily amount of calories, and there's calculators and things like that. Generally, they'll say a maintenance calories will be 10 or 11 times your body weight, right? Now, obviously, if you're a big, giant lard bear that weighs 300 pounds, you don't need to eat 3,000 calories a day. Point is, calories, there's a maintenance calorie, a calorie. So let's say somebody's numbers are 2,500 calories is the maintenance calorie. If you eat 2,500 calories, I'm talking on average, you're not going to gain and you're not going to lose weight. So lard acids have been eaten in the calorie surplus for a very long time. So if a big fat giant lard ass decides to eat in a calorie deficit, which is a less amount of calories, that lard bear, if he lifts weights and eats a certain amount of protein, which here's the thing, you can look it up. This is a recommend, and doctors say this. So for every pound of lean body mass, so say for example, if you're 200 pounds and you have good muscle mass, right? You have barely any fat. You could eat close to 200 grams of protein. Let's say you're somebody that's 300 pounds of fat and you want to get down to 250. You don't need to eat 300 grams of protein. The weight you want to get to is 250, so eat 250 grams of protein. If you do the following, and these are the 5 things, and go research it for yourself. Please research it for yourself. Number 1, lard asses, eat in a calorie deficit. Find out your maintenance, eat less than that. 500 calories less, it's not a big deal. Guess what, lard bears? If you eat the protein in that, guess what? And you lift weights, guess where your body's going to get the 500 calories or more that it needs to continue to build the muscles and to meet your maintenance? It's going to take it from your fat. He just said it. It's true. It's called body recompositioning. You can change your whole body. Lift weights safely. Lift weights in a calorie deficit. Eat an adequate amount of protein, which is, research it, 1 gram of protein for your goal body weight. So if I am 250 and I need to get down to 210, I'm not eating 250, I'm eating 210 grams of protein. If I do that in a calorie deficit, in strength training, lift weights, compound movements, compound meaning it is multiple muscles recruit, like a military press, like a pull-up, like a bench press, like a row, like a squat, like a lunge, all these things. Do these things safely. You do these things, and you got to couple that with sleep. You got to get sleep. So there's 5 things: calorie deficit, strength train, eat protein for your goal body weight. What's the other one I said? Sleep. And the last one is, this is the key. Shout out to Big Red. Okay? This is the key. Walking, 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 walking. You big fat people, you should do those 4 things and walk a minimum. Even Urion can do it. Walk 15,000 steps a day. Walk 15,000 steps a day. If you do these things, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose a lot of fat. You'll maintain muscle. And guess what? You also will lose the fat and not look like a crackhead. Brothers and sisters, I cannot tell you, I'm going to say it again. 5 things I want you to start doing. And talk to your doctor, because I'm not a doctor. I'm just a mean, middle-aged man that screams at fat people. And I can still make fat jokes, lard asses. Oh, we've done great. All praise. Thank you. The buffaloes are released, you big fat cattle, herd of cattle. But the fat jokes will remain in check, and we'll be checking your fat lard asses at every event until everyone gets to the green. So this is love for the lard back. You know what? From here by this day, we will say you're not fat, you carry famine insurance. I'm telling you, I'm going to start saying that. Fat lard asses, Gabe's somewhat of a lard ass. John is a recovered. So you big fat giant lard asses are carrying on you famine insurance. Now, 5 things that you want to do. And I love my brothers. I love them all. I love my sisters. 5 things you got to do. Number 1, you got to eat in a calorie deficit. There's apps out there. There's videos. There's journals. You can talk to a personal trainer. Calorie deficit. You got to strength train. You can get a personal trainer. YouTube University. That's the second thing. Third thing, you got to eat and women too. You got to eat protein for the goal body weight. You're 250. You want to get to 200. Eat 200 grams of protein. It's not hard. It's not even a lot of calories if you eat clean protein sources. That was the third thing. Calorie deficit, strength train, protein per goal body weight. We're almost done. Guess what, lard asses? Walk, 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 walk. And last thing, sleep. 7 or 8 if you can. If you do those things, you will lose body fat every single week and you will get muscle. Okay? And you sisters, you're not going to get too big. Okay? If you watch, do me a favor. Type this in, and this is the last thing. We're going to end it. Type in YouTube, it says a pound of fat, a pound of muscle. If you watch on YouTube, right? You watch things, it'll show you assimilation of what 5 pounds of fat looks like, or like visually, and 5 pounds of muscle. The 5 pounds of fat is so much more volume, and the 5 pounds of muscle looks super small. Yeah, let's do the 1 pound. Short video. So here's the thing. You brothers, you got no excuse. Watch what watch what he does. This is, yes, so I saw one with 5 pounds. This is 1 pound. So you're not going to gain too much muscle, lard asses. Okay?
1 pound of body fat. This is 1 pound of muscle. Same weight, vastly different appearances. This is rolls. This is love handles. This is biceps and abs. Fatty, unhealthy foods create this. Healthy, high protein foods create this. It all comes down to a decision. Do you chase quick pleasure with the junk food, the Oreos, the burgers? Well,
now, hey, go back. Now, hey, fat people are creative as hell. They got Oreo cookies. Is that's like, looks like a McChicken, or looks like a chicken with gravy. What's that chicken sandwich? A country fried chicken. That looks like a country fried chicken with Oreos and blue cheese. Is that blue cheese? The lard bag has got a sweet blue cheese. What is this? This is garlic. This is Oreos with the cream dripping down, and that's beef. The lard bag is an amazing creature. You got to give listen. You want to create some famine insurance? You follow the lard bag. I get it. I understand it now. I have new respect for the lard bag. Thinks long term. You fat giant lard. Gabe, you're disgusting. All right. Yeah, I know. Hey, Gabe lost like 60 pounds. All right. Play on.
Burgers, well, this is what you will receive. Or do you stay disciplined and healthy and reap the rewards later on? What's the difference? 10 minutes after eating, you're not even hungry anymore. You forgot what the food even tastes like. Don't be this guy, be this guy.
Right. So don't be a giant lard ass. Be someone. Green is just the color. Let's get healthy, Israel. I want to get me Romans 12 in verse 2. And this is the important things, right? At the end of the day, there are diseases and I understand our food has been defiled. We do understand that. That's more of a reason to make choices. Like, for example, like sometimes I'll choose to have a can of tuna with extra virgin olive oil, which has more protein, is going to fill me up. And it's one ingredient. It's tuna, salt. And then olive oil. Or if I have a Greek yogurt, I might take some Greek yogurt and put a scoop of protein powder in there and mix it up, and now it's very, very filling, relatively low calorie, and it fills me up. Or I might have I have 3 or 4 beef patties, but no ketchup, no barbecue, and no bread. If you do these things, you're going to be full. You can stay in a deficit if you're a big, giant, huge lard ass. Okay, what's this? Oh yeah, read that. Sorry.
The book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 2.
Listen good.
And be not conformed to this world.
In this world, this is important. This world says fat acceptance is a new trend. That accept you for who you are, and complain to the airlines that they don't make the seats bigger. That's what the world says. The Israelites, with a transformed mind, says, yes, I live in a place where the food is defiled. Yes, things are stacked against me. Yes, black people, we have more stress. I understand all that. But you can control what you put in your mouth. Eating a calorie deficit, strength train. Okay, eat 1 gram of protein for goal body weight, get sleep, and walk 15,000 steps a day. And I guarantee you 6 months, you're going to see complete reform. So we got to try harder. Read it again.
And be not conformed to this world.
Right.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Your mind has to change. My mind has changed. I make a conscious decision every day. I control what I put in my mouth, what I put in my body. And this is something it's going to seem strange to y'all. But me, I do black coffee. I don't eat nothing until like 3, 4 o'clock. Sometimes I might go a little early if I'm training. And in that black coffee, what I do is I do salt. And it does something. You could do salt and tea. It does something. It doesn't spike your insulin. And it gives you a little bit of taste, right? hot with a little bit of salt. It will help y'all. It will help you. Anything that's good baked, you have to have salt. Okay? Salted caramel ice cream. Pay attention. Your body needs salt. So try these. Do an intermittent fasting. Eat a 4 to 6 hour window. Eat two. If you don't want to eat one meal a day, great. Eat 2 meals a day. Deacon Asaph talked about it. You don't eat more than twice a day. He's 100% correct. Because God said very little is sufficient. Ain't talking about 1 pea and a half a carrot. It's talking about you need to eat like Urion. Actually, Urion's doing a lot better. He's walking 15. Shout out to Urion. You're doing it, Urion. Hassy. Okay? All praise to the Most High. Look, that's it. 11:45. We're going to end now. That's lower back attack. Y'all get in the green. Get healthy. Listen, we got to get healthy and rise as a nation so we can help the women who are portly princesses. Shalom.
You can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling. If I die for the truth, it's a win-win. And going to the end, going all in. Going all in.
Hey, Shalom, it's late, y'all. We want to get out of here, but before we get out of here, let's go ahead and plug the Booster Club. Please donate to the Booster Club. You can text, if you're old school, the word give to 646-982-3858. If you are a new school techie, you go ahead and take your phone out, click on that icon, click the link, and as the Lord move your spirit, donate to the Booster Club. Why? Because 12 tribes, I saw a video of the captain, deacon and the captains traveling to play. I had to look it up. I had to look up the place where they went to, Malata or something like that. I had to look it up. It's in the central Indonesia. We're all over. Our people are scattered. Your donations, your gift of faith, right? You're helping the prophecies to come true. And you're helping to get these men. So keep helping the Booster Club. We appreciate all y'all. Some of y'all live 3-4 hours from a school. Some of y'all can't get to a school, but you still show your faith through your donation. And we appreciate you. And we know that the Lord is the one moving your spirit. So we appreciate you. So with that, brothers, it's a late night. We are your hosts. I'm Captain Shem, y'all.
Officer Micah.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Solomon.
And with that, Preceptuponprecept, we say shalom.
Shalom.
You're never going to see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need. Ain't never forget. Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees. I never forget. Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed. And they gotta get it. Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
You're now tuned in to Precept upon Precept.